we're watching and we're trying really hard. And as a woman, I'm not a mother, and I cannot even imagine what it must be like to live like this and to have your children grow up in this. But yeah, I just that you know that we are trying so hard, and we can see you, and we support you, and one day this will be over because it has to.
The Palestinian cause finds its way to the whole world through the voices that support justice, support the human rights and equality for all. And to talk about that, we are going to have with us our guest, Kristin Foss, from the Solidarity movement in Norway, who is known for her struggle for justice for the Palestinian people and for every person on a planet. Welcome to our program, Mr. Kristin.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Kristin, we are going to talk about the Solidarity movement in Norway and your support and your activities for the Palestinian people. And you visited Palestine before, and in 2018, I think you were in the village of Kfar Kadum. Now, when you hear about the Israeli genocidal campaign against the Palestinians, whether in Gaza or the West Bank, and remember the days that you spent here, how do you feel?
It's heartbreaking. I almost start to cry now just thinking about it, because of course I have many good memories from my time in Palestine, and I made so many friends, and I was welcomed in the most generous way. And of course, me as an activist and my activist friends could see what was happening then already. So to see what is happening now, it's so sad and it's frustrating, and we are very angry here in Norway.
Yeah,
well,
and it is very important to have your voice and the voices supporting the Palestinian national rights and the human rights, calling on the world governments to pressure Israel to stop its genocidal campaign against the Palestinians. Tell me how your movement, how the Solidarity movement affect the people of Norway and raise their awareness about the cause of Palestine and the rights of the Palestinian people.
Well, the Palestine Committee, which I'm part of, has been existing for more than 50 years. Mm-hmm. So it's more than 50 years that we've been trying to raise awareness. And this last year, mm-hmm. It's really taken off. And in Oslo, the capital, there's demonstrations weekly. There's so many groups that's come up. So we have meetings, speeches, and people are teaching Tetris. There's been exhibitions and concerts, and yeah, it's really quite mind-blowing what is happening in Oslo. I'm very proud of what the Norwegian activists have accomplished, and of course, we are trying to raise awareness, but many people are already aware. You know, it's getting them to take action, which is a challenge maybe, because the media has instilled this idea in us up here in Norway that Palestine and Israel is so far away. Mm-hmm. So it's got nothing to do with us, but of course it does. Like the Norwegian oil fund, our pension fund, is a heavy investor in Israel. I think we're Europe's biggest investor in Israel. So this is kind of our main task, is to stop all ties with the Norwegian pension fund and Israel. And this is what we're trying to do, and to cut all financial and cultural ties with Israel.
Yeah, and if you tell me about the impact of the Solidarity movement and its activities in a way on the public opinion, how the people got to support now the rights of the Palestinians, because we know that Israel succeeded for a long time by keeping the Zionist narrative dominant in all of Europe and the West maybe in general. Do you feel that you are achieving something in this regard when it comes to the public opinion and public opinion change towards Israel-Palestine question?
Yes, it definitely has. Now, of course, we are still struggling with the media. The mass media here is as bad as, maybe not as bad, but it's pretty bad in Norway as well. And we have been silenced pretty much by media. Like, we have had demonstrations of 6,000, 9,000. These are big numbers for Oslo because it's a small capital. And the media is not writing anything about it. And the few times they have written about it is the incidents, like singular incidents, where someone has done something they maybe shouldn't have done. And they have chosen to focus on that. But at the same time, of course, we're being bombarded on social media. And even if the media is still Israel friendly, they can't avoid to share the numbers of the dead in Gaza and what's happening in the West Bank. So I think Norwegians are now, they are starting to understand and piece together that this is not a two-sided conflict. You know, they still call it conflict. And the Norwegian public has definitely woken up. And whilst before maybe we had 1,000, 2,000 at the demonstrations, the biggest demonstration in Oslo this last year, there was more than 20,000. So it's been a big shift. And there's groups of psychologists got together, groups of actors, media people, lawyers. There are so many groups working from different angles for Palestine at the moment. So there's a lot of pressure on the Norwegian government.
Yeah, and the government of Norway recognized, the state of Norway recognized the state of Palestine, and that was not easy. And we all saw the Israeli government campaign against the Norwegian government because of that. Do you think that the Solidarity movement in Norway had any impact on the government that led the government to recognize the state of Palestine?
Yeah, absolutely. There has been so much pressure on the government to do that. That used to be one of our main demands, was to recognize the state of Palestine. It's outrageous that they haven't done it yet, or that they hadn't. And they had a vote, I think it was just before Christmas, but they voted no. But then a new one came up this spring, and thankfully they voted yes. And absolutely, I think they have realized now that we are not backing down and we are not giving up. So absolutely, I think it was also due to pressure from us.
And Kristin, my final question to you, as we are running out of time for our program, from perspective of a woman, as a woman, what do you say to the Palestinian women, whether in Jenin, to Karim, to Bas, the West Bank, Gaza, who are under Israeli bombing all the time, losing their children, losing their houses? Thousands of Palestinian women in Gaza are homeless now and without the least of their rights. What do you say to them?
It's hard. I mean, we're watching and we're trying really hard. And as a woman, I'm not a mother, and I cannot even imagine what it must be like to live like this and to have your children grow up in this. But I just let you know that we are trying so hard, and we can see you, and we support you, and one day this will be over because it has to.
Kristin, I thank you very much for these true and credible, real feelings. Thank you. It has been a great pleasure having you on our program. Kristin Foss, Solidarity activist of Norway. Thank you. And thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. And from you, Sam Nazal, have a nice time. Thank you.